So we're pretty much at the halfway point of the racing so far today. Let's have a look at your grid for our DD2 Masters pre-final. So after time qualifying this morning, it was Germany's Thomas Piet that actually was the fastest of all, but not by much, 25 thousandths of a second, with the 550 on pole position in front of one of the championship protagonists for this season, the 502 of Belgium's Ian Getz. He'll be joined by multi-time, that's three-time DD2 Masters champion in this class, in this championship, Karl Klibor in the 501. Prit Sai returns to the championship, having been with us all season long. He starts fourth ahead of Christoph Adams, the most decorated driver in terms of qualifying for the grand finals. 15, I think, at the current record. I'm not too sure if he's qualified yet, but I'll make it number 16. Scott Campbell from Canada would be very, very unhappy on that one. Dominic Hummels is in sixth, ahead of current championship leader, not taking drop scores into account, last year's Euro Trophy champion, Paul Leville from France in the 564, with Michael Becker, who is currently third in the standings, rounding out the 8-strong grid. So the drivers make their way through turn number 12. Red lights ignited on the starting gantry, 13 minutes on the clock to take us to the halfway point of the race weekend. Lights are out, we're off and racing. Good start by Thomas Piet, who gets in front of the rest of the field as Ian Getz shuts the door as Michael Becker trying to go around the outside of all of the sundry. Oh, front axle bumps up into the air. That can only open the door for Paul Leville to get through as Thomas Piet has already pulled away in the IPK Praga chassis, the 550. Ian Getz leads the train behind. Paul Leville closing right on the back bumper of one Michael Becker. And it looks like Christoph Adams has dropped to the back of the field. The 564 from France gets through. And that is for what's going to be sixth position on the road. Now he's got Dominic Hummels and Karl Klibor up ahead. Out of turn 9, Luvol runs a little bit wide, but manages to keep the throttle pin. And now up the inside of Hummels he goes through turn 10. Hummels keeps it pinned to the outside, they nearly touch. I think there might have been a little bit of a rub between the pair as Michael Becker sends it up the inside of Hummels, and that allows Christoph Adams to slingshot up the inside of the 526 from Hagen in Germany. And I think he might have gotten past Dominic Hummels. He has done. And Hummels using a little bit of the runoff area I spotted out of turn 2. Becker had to try and force the issue but couldn't get through. At the moment, Thomas Piet having a 0.8 of a second lead ahead of Ian Getz. Karl Klibor up to P3, Prit Sai fourth, and now Paul Leville up to P5. Based on the drop scores at the moment, it's actually Ian Getz that leads by 4 points. Now a move coming. Oh, it stays a all from Karl Klibor. There we go, up the inside of Ian Getz, who then gets the switch back. And here they come. Here comes Prit Sai looking to get past the current reigning and defending champion, who pretty much knows that his title opportunities aren't going to be very much this weekend. As Paul Leville tries to go over the curves through turn 3, the 564. Unable to get through. And Michael Becker sideways through turn 6 and nearly comes to crop with both Hummels and Adams now going side by side into turn 7. And Hummels has gotten through. main focal point of this race is going to be those battling from second to fifth. And at the front and the rear end of that train are the respective drivers in second and first in the championship. Now Louveau goes for a send and a half. That was very, very deep for the 564. He managed to get through Piritsai, but ran a bit too deep into turn 2. And the Estonian managed to retake the position for fourth. Out of turn number 6. Louveau's been doing a lot of racing back in his native France, especially with the National Series de Karting these days, run by 3MK Events. And he also won the Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy. Carl Kibble looking to get one up on Ian Getz. It's very close between the pair. They're both on the KR chassis. And now, here we go. The backers up the inside. Gets through. And now Ian Getz tries to get the undercut through into turn 12, but the 502 can't make it. Four minutes down, 9 to go. As Piet has a comfortable lead, it's nearly 2 seconds ahead of Carl Kibble once they cross the line for lap 4. Well, now trying to get through on Piritsai. It's a little bit easier said than done because the Estonian can normally, if you fire it up the inside of 519 from Estonia, you're going to find that he's going to probably be on the inside of you or around the outside of you on the very next corner. Sometimes that can happen. 8.5 minutes to go on the clock. It's anyone's game. Thomas Piet running away with it at the moment. And his lead over at Carl Clervaux in 501 across the line now, just over 2 seconds. Now Louveau looks for the move up the inside of Piritsai from Estonia, and the Frenchman gets through for 4th place. So effectively, 4th place is 13 points. Ian Getz at the moment currently running in P3, that's 16 points. So 7.5 minutes remain. The two championship leaders are within eye shot of each other. Ian Getz now rounding out the top 3. Paul Louveau moving forward, and Louveau was a little bit quicker than Ian Getz last time. Considering the fact that Ian Getz was 15 thousandths of a second quicker on that particular occasion, but Louveau quicker than him in sector 1, so they've just passed the timing beam in the first third of the Unipolarn. So 6 3/4 minutes to go. Looking back at the roll runner, as I said earlier, Carl Clervaux, a 3-time champion in this class. So is Christophe Adams. Danny Blunt back in 2011. Clervaux was actually the inaugural champion. Ronald Billings won this title in 2017. And Jim Ringelberg, also from the Netherlands, in 2015 won this championship, won this class. It was a class that was introduced back in 2010, with Giovanni Bunches being the last winner of KZ2, and that was in 2011 and 2012. As now Louveau's got past. Oh, right. Okay. Ian Getz has just been passed by Paul Louveau. Well. This is getting even closer now. It's also dependent on how much either of these drivers want it. We know for the fact that Louveau, he's got unfinished business at the Grand Finals last year. finished second on the road behind Morgan Riche, who won his first ticket for over a decade to go back to the grand finals and decimate it. And though unfortunately in Bahrain picks up the front fairing penalty. I still remember that particular moment. I congratulated Morgan Riche. I went over to see Paul and I just said, what happened? Oh no, Ian Getz went a bit too late he went in a bit too deep, or a bit too robust. And that could have been an incident that both of them would have wanted to have had. So I think Ian Getz needs to check the bottom of his race suit after that manoeuvre. Would have expected something, but not on that significant scale. So that could have been a little bit worse than it might have looked. But it could have been worse in a whole other set of ways because of the fact that the way that Ian Getz just launched it in and decided, well, I'm going to give it a shot. I've got nothing to lose. Well, I've got a title to lose, but I might gain an opportunity. And the opportunity went in the other direction, I'm afraid, Ian, because Paul Louveau is now ahead of you. And based on the countback scores at the moment, including drops, there's a minimal difference. It's like literally Ian Getz said, well, I'm ahead of Paul coming into this. It's in drop scores, but now with the drop scores at the moment, Christoph Adams has already pulled it into the pits in lap number 8. So Christoph Adams, who started P5, was having a little bit of a great battle, but I'm not too sure if there was something wrong with the car. So on this particular occasion, what is happening is that Louveau is picking up the pace. Ian Getz has set the fastest lap on that turn. It's a 54.839. Let's see who's gone quicker than anybody. Paul Louveau has gone, well, he's done 2 personal bests in a row. He's bringing along Ian Getz with him, but they are closing on Carl Clerbaud. And that could be quite significant, depending on where the results stand. Because even when you take into consideration some drop scores, like say the 2 lower scores so far this season, Paul Louveau and Ian Getz, if they finish second and third respectively, they will be tied on points just by approximate calculations. But Thomas Beard at the moment, they say that if you haven't said much about the leader, he's been doing a pretty good job at the moment. Carl Clerbaud is going to have to watch his rear bumper because Paul Louveau is closing. Last time around, he was a little bit faster than the Baker by over a tenth and a bit. And he's gone quicker again by over a tenth of a second, so second and third separated by 3.5 tenths. And it's not a case of if, it's a case of when does Paul Louveau pull the pin on the grade and fire his kart up the inside of Carl Clerbaud. It could be, maybe, within a few moments or so. Thomas Peart, it's a bit like the pre-final, it's an afternoon drive in the countryside. Just so happens to be Limburg. Now Louveau again goes quicker. He's actually the quickest out of everyone in the field, and he's just set the fastest lap of the race, 54.825 from the 564 running on the Red Speed chassis these days. Louveau on the Kart Republic chassis. So into turn 7 off the Europolon they go once again. They're trying everything that he can to close on in to Clervaux. And if he can put a knot between himself and Ian Getz, that could swing the pendulum in his favour. Just over 10 seconds to go as the leader now crosses the line. Thomas Piet from Germany leading the way. Second, Karl Clervaux, followed by Paul Louvaux, with Ian Getz running at the top 4. Pritzai, Michael Becker down in 6th place. And then Dominic Hummels rounding out the top 7 positions as Christoph Adams retired his solo kart on lap number 8. The timer now expired. Paul Louvaux is going to start reeling in Karl Clervaux for that position. Will be for second into turn 10. Oh, right, what's happened to Thomas Piet in the meantime? He's a little bit closer to Karl Clervaux than I think maybe Karl Clervaux would have. Well, he would rather be up the back bumper of the driver in front as we go on to the final lap of this race. Thomas Piet still leading. Paul Louvaux trying to get past Karl Clervaux for second. That's bringing Ian Getz back into the mix now. Louvaux, can he fire that up the inside through turn 6? And he does so neat and tidy from the Frenchman. Through on the inside, the pair give each other enough racing room. And now he goes defensive on Ian Getz, who gets the big old slipstream down into turn number 7 off of the Europolan. But our race leader now making his way through turn 9 for what's going to be the last time of asking. Just a couple more corners, make that one more corner to go. That's giving a solid performance from pole position, from lights out to checkered flag. Germany's Thomas Piet takes the pre-final in DD2, but in the battle for the championship, oh, it's getting closer. It's getting a bit tighter for those two, Paul Louvaux and Ian Getz. And that basically, by my calculations, that puts that result even Stevens with a couple of drop scores in consideration to level pegging. So they are tied effectively. That's provisional pending any sporting and technical checks. Karl Clervaux in 4th, ahead of Michael Becker with Pritzai. Dominic Hummels running at the 7 that completed all 16 laps. And Christoph Adams retiring the number 555 on lap 8.